Wonderful. Can you please, once again, reintroduce yourself?
Kimberly Rolle.
And please talk a little bit about what you're famous for.
Played basketball for the national team from 1992 to 1998. During that time, I was a part of 3 gold medal winning CARICOM teams in 1992, 1995, and 1998. The 1995 gold medal team, I was the MVP of that team that played in Belize. Since then, I've moved into sports administration. Was a part of a cohort that started and established the New Providence Women's Basketball Association. Was the second president of that. That league is still going strong, and I'm currently the director of athletics at College of the Bahamas. Now, am I looking in the camera, or do you?
You can speak to me.
Okay, good.
Or you could look at Tanya if I'm too.
Okay.
All right. So.
Yes.
How did you feel when you were honored? When you found out that you were honored from the Bahamas?
Well, to be honest, I was a little surprised.
Why were you surprised?
Well, I mean, there's so many distinguished women out there, many of whom are a lot older than I am, and are as accomplished as well. And so, I know whenever you do something like this, and to pick 40 throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas, that's a challenge. And so, when I got the call, I was like, this has to be a joke or something. And I was like, no. I was like, wow. So, just to be in the presence of, some of the honorees that were here and that are listed. And when you look at the things that they've accomplished during their time, it's really a humbling experience.
What was one of the most triumphant moments in your sports career?
No doubt it was the 1995 CARICOM basketball championships. The team left with only 8 players. And I remember when we arrived there, people laughed at us and said, that's the team. And we ended up winning the championship, and I was named the most valuable player. So that, for me, was the standout moment in my national basketball days. Of course, there are many others in my collegiate, but from a national perspective, 1995 CARICOM games in Belize was it.
Very good. What are some of the challenges you face as a woman in the world of sports?
Well, I'll tell you what, my first challenge was at home, just convincing my mother that I should play sports. I like to say and joke, I say, I have old people, children, and so my mother didn't think that I should be involved in sports. And it took some convincing from my older siblings that it was okay. And as a result of that, I had certain criteria and standards that I had to maintain and keep in order to play sports. So at home was the first hurdle. And then getting over that, just obviously, basketball is it is not now, but, it's known for males. And, just getting in the sport, being good and being recognized and respected for what you do as an athlete, rather than being viewed as male or female, but just how you developed and worked at your game. So those were 2 of the biggest challenges.
Can you talk a little bit about how sports has helped your professional career?
Oh, tremendously. Absolutely, I am today where I am because of sports. I'm from a family of 10, and so my parents absolutely could not afford for me to go to college. So I knew right away that would be my vehicle to secure my college degree. And so I was very successful in doing that, and coming back home, working at the college for a number of years. And then the college wanted to go in the direction of athletics. And so I thought, wow, what an opportunity for me to go back, retrain myself. So I went back and did my master's in sports administration and studies, and came back home, applied for the job, interviewed, got it, and has been in the post for the last 3.5 years.
Can you say an encouraging word to young women, especially who are thinking about pursuing high-level athletics?
Well, the thing, there's so many distractions for young girls now than there were when I was coming up. Facebook, the Twitter, and all that other stuff that keep them so occupied and engaged, whereas I didn't have all that to deal with. And so, one of the things when I have an opportunity to speak to young girls and young ladies, I always tell them, hey, at the end of the day, set goals and go after them. You have all of your life to do these things. You have 4 years or 5 years to get a degree. Use sports to get a degree, to get your education, to get your professional career started. And so, I always tell girls, don't worry about a little sweat dripping from your forehead or your nose or whatever. A shower takes care of that. But at the end of the day, what is it that you gain through sports? And use sports as a vehicle to get you where you want to land. And so, I would encourage, there's so much talent still, just raw talent. And I think if our young ladies in particular would embrace that, embrace coaching, embrace having a good attitude, they can go very far in sports.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.